such a strange and amusing place. One day you buy him rocket ship underpants, and then the next they're in outer space. Mama, don't you know you keep the whole world turning round?
We're halfway through high school officially with the Olders.
Right. They're both 16 boys.
In the trenches with
What
the team.
What was the thing that caught you by surprise the most this year with them?
You know, it's funny because I was all prepared that the teen years were going to be hard, and I thought ninth grade was going to be really hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, gosh, what is everybody complaining about? This teen thing isn't so bad. And it was then this year that I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what the deal is, you know?
Right.
I mean, I don't have a lot to complain about. He's a really good kid.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's obedient. He is an extremely good student. You know, he's got a job. He's doing all the things that would indicate a really good kid.
Right.
However,
but what was so hard then?
well, he's got about the amount of self-control that he did when he was around 2 or 3, and
Yeah.
yet
Right.
he can crash a car.
Right.
He can become a father. You know, there's all these things that he can do that I can't
Mhm.
protect him from that will change his life and my life forever.
Right. Yeah.
And that is a scary thing.
I think the hardest thing for us has been watching this child just become this completely separate individual
Yeah.
with separate ideas from us. A lot of them mostly contrary to, and
Well,
I
it's
think
like on purpose that it's contrary.
it is, and that's the natural progression of separating from your parents. You know,
Right.
you take contrary stands
Right.
to the extreme sometimes.
Right.
You know, and I think the hardest part for us was not taking that personally.
Yeah.
It's like,
You've
what
spent all
have
this
we
time and
done?
effort to instill this.
What have we done to deserve being, you know, told that we're, you know, dumb and that we don't know anything and that
Provincial,
our
and you're so
ideas are
sheltered,
stupid and, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Not that he's ever been that kind of, you know, he hasn't really, but we're made to feel that way.
Mhm.
And that he doesn't really want to spend a lot of time with us. He doesn't want to spend a lot of time with his family. You know, he wants to be out with his friends doing all of these things, you know.
And that's
we
normal,
take that,
right?
It is normal.
That's normal, but from our
it's
perspective-
hard to not take it personally. And when you take it personally, then you get upset. And when you get upset, then confrontation happens and, you know, it gets really ugly in the home.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really walk this line
Right.
of
Picking your battles is so crucial at this
there
time.
was never a truer statement. Never a truer
you
statement.
thought you knew what that meant
have
when they
to.
were little?
Right. Yeah.
No.
I mean, you know, if you pick your battle, if every single thing is a battle, you are battling all day long.
Not only
you
that,
know.
but you're losing because he knows he's like the tail wagging the dog. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like if he can stir you up to get
Right.
angry about everything, it's like their purpose. Like
Mhm.
they're like, oh, look how I can. Ooh, I'm the puppet master. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, you know, we're trying to find ways where he's allowed his independence.
Right.
You know, and yet he's still respecting the home
Mhm.
and what we have going on there.
Mhm.
And, you know, we have 2 more years before he goes off to college. And I really
And
want
that's
him
sad to me. Like
to
I love
spend
him.
time with their family and especially with his younger brother,
Uh-huh.
you know, because I want them to be really close and bonding and everything, you know. And sometimes you just feel like they're just whatever. You
Well,
know?
yeah, they're totally like that. And I remember being like that when I was a kid. Of course, my husband's like, I was never like that when I was a kid, and I don't deserve to have a kid like you. I'm like, I'm sorry. You know,
well,
but
and this is the other thing that's been really difficult.
it's the parents coming together, right?
He is the teenager I was.
And the husbands blame you for it.
Identical. Identical. So I look at him and I'm going, yes, that's exactly how I was. And I don't know how my mother survived.
Right.
I really don't.
And you're
But my
super
mother
close
has
now.
said those were the worst 3 years of her life.
And she sucked it up, right? You don't
She
remember her
did.
falling apart. Maybe.
Well, there were episodes of when we really were at each other.
Really?
I mean, it was hard because you in order to break from your parents and to gain that independence,
It's painful.
if the parents don't cooperate with that,
Right.
You know?
Well,
Then
and
you
I
have
look
to
at it
fight back.
like, okay, you know what? My entire adult life, I have invested in raising this child.
Mhm.
I mean, basically, from the point that I became an adult, I also became a mother.
Yeah.
And that's how I spent my entire adult life. And we were at his band awards banquet and stuff.
Right.
And they had the senior farewell thing where they did a slideshow. 35 seniors graduating that year and all of them going to college. So they had like 4 pictures for each senior. And the last picture was like their senior picture where they're going to college.
Right.
And it was about midway through the slideshow, I'm watching these kids as babies, you know, little kids, junior high, and then like their senior picture. And I was like, I started bawling because I realized like all this time that I've spent and invested and taught and loved this child, 4 pictures represent that whole period of time.
right.
And then you're gone. I'm like so sad. And I
Yeah.
think that's part of it too, is that we're just sad a little bit.
Well, I
'Cause
think,
we're
I
coming
think
to
there is some sadness.
The adulthood almost.
Yeah, I think there is some sadness. I think that, you know, and I just had this discussion. I bathed you. I held you. I did this, you know, and he's like, right. You know, but it's true. You have so much invested, more than they will ever know until they become
parent.
parents themselves.
And let's hope that's
you know,
kind of a long ways off.
yeah, but that's the thing.
It's like, learn the lesson, but not
right,
too soon.
Right, exactly. So
So.
yeah, I have to say, it has been a very difficult year.
You know what? We
so.
will get through this, honey.
hope
We'll get
so.
through this. And maybe our viewers will send in some tips because honestly,
Yeah.
it's tough stuff.
Mama, don't you know you keep the whole world turning round?
How about walking the plank?
The line, the plank, whatever.
Yeah, there's your end.
Right.
I think I spit when I said it. As long as that doesn't show up on HD, I'm cool.